All right, guys. There's a big old bee in my shop. Oh boy. That'll be interesting if it stings me. All right, mi gente. This is Tio Lalo. We are back at it with the inlay on this 1911 slide. At which point, once we're done with it, then we'll go ahead and start the scroll work process. I'm hoping to get to that by sometime this end of the week. What I'm doing right now is I'm getting the channel graver prepped. It is a 60-degree graver with about a 15-degree heel on it. And what we're going to do with this is we're using it to essentially create a V channel all the way through, all the way on this side, and then we create teeth within it, and then we inlay the jeweler's bronze right here. And we're doing a dual wire because I'm dumb and I didn't think about the width prior when I lasered the channel out. So now we are stuck with working with what we've got. How's it going? How's it going? Thank you for tuning in, guys. We're using the Graver Mach AT system today. Really like it because it has a ton of power. Enough power for what I need it. This is it right here. I'm using the pedal. You can also switch it to, I've got the AT, so the AT is kind of nice in the fact that I can, it's also palm driven if I want it to. I like the foot drive, but everybody has their own preferences. Jay Sharp, how's it going? J Dog, I am doing an inlay right now, yes. Let's see. All right. Colton, we are setting an inlay. We're doing a brass inlay into this. It's funny is I already chipped the front of this that quick. So we've got to resharpen it. I have a graver sharpener. Oh yeah, yeah. I was doing the Ultima Cena. I do remember that. I don't know if I was inlaying on that one. I think I was doing. I was probably just engraving it on that one and doing a bright cut. Either way, I appreciate you tuning back in, man. Thank you. This stainless steel is tough on this Bull Armory 1911 though. So I'm going to do a couple passes to try to see if I can reduce the amount of stress my tip is going through. Still chipped. You know, I know a lot of people love the Lindsay Gravers and stuff, the M48s, but I am just, maybe I'm just not doing it right. Something's going on. So if there's anybody on here that does engraving and uses the Lindsay M48s bits, let me know how you do it, because mine mine chips so easy, and it's just frustrating more than anything. I'm about to just say screw it with this graver bit and go make another one from the GRS C-Max metal. Actually, J-Dog, yeah, you actually gave me a pretty good idea. I do remember something that I do need to do with this, because this is ticking me off. I'm actually going to go grab some cutting oil. So yeah, thanks for a reminder. So I just use this stuff, with Tap Magic cutting oil, and we're just gonna doesn't take a ton, and we're just gonna spread it out a little bit. Maybe some copper wire to kind of this should help a little bit, hopefully. We will have to get rid of it before we move into the inlay though, because I don't want less friction in the inlay. I need more friction. So this should help. Yeah, I mean, that is one thing we have to be careful, but it's usually cool enough to the touch when I'm close to it, so it shouldn't get that hot, but it is a possibility. That is something that I do have to keep in mind when I'm sharpening some of this stuff. So that is not an incorrect assumption on that by any means. Move some of this oil out of the way. Okay. We're gonna go with a higher chisel rate. The chisel rate can also affect the way that it performs. So Justin Walkett. I mean, I do have a laser engraver, but it's kind of like the same. It's the same idea as like, you know, if you wanted to buy a painting, why you'd go to an artist rather than like just AI printing it, in my opinion. You know, or if I really wanted the laser engraved one, why not just buy one from the factory that's laser engraved? 'Cause that's what they do now. Rarely will you see a hand engraved done. And as far as like laser engraving a channel, it's not impossible with the laser, but you have to get the very expensive lasers because you have to have a 3D, or not even 3D, you have to have a 5 or a 4D or 5D or a 5-axis, sorry, 5-axis laser engraver so that you can angle it kind of like I'm angling here to get into that channel. That's really why I do that. So but yeah, if you followed me long enough, you'll know I like the art. Like J-Dog was saying, I just like the art. I enjoy the art of it versus just laser engraving and trying to come up with generic engravings and stuff. But don't get me wrong, that's where I come from. I come from the laser engraving world where I started laser engraving, and I started with laser engraving, and it just wasn't fulfilling the artist in me. Even though I was coming up with my own designs digitally, it just wasn't, it didn't feel like art to me. So I moved over to hand engraving. All right, let's see. And I appreciate you, Justin. Thank you for tuning in, man. If you have to leave, don't worry. That's fine. I get it. Time is crucial. But before you leave, if you can subscribe, I appreciate it, guys. Sorry, I'm like putting on headphones because this is actually kind of loud. The hammering is actually decently loud. Probably close to the 80 decibel mark. So I'm just trying to save my hearing. All right, I'm just going to put on a podcast or something while I do this. Thanks, appreciate it, Justin. Thank you. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's create these channels. If I can get going on this, it'll be pretty quick. So let me. J-Dog, no, I don't let anybody post links on here just because just to keep the spam or anything like that down. So appreciate you sharing it, but yeah, I don't want links or anything for people to. And you're welcome to describe what you're talking about for people to look up. I don't mind that. But as far as direct links, it will get taken off. Appreciate you asking though. Appreciate it, J-Dog. Yeah, I'll definitely look at them for sure. Yeah, right now the ones I'm using are just like the 3M ones that I picked up. They're generic ones. They're kind of big and bulky, but they work decent. Talking about headphones, so when you're doing this, guys, some of the safety gear, I haven't really talked PPE. Sometimes it's like a nerdy thing to do, but when you're engraving, one of the big things with engraving is you don't want any of these metal flakes ever getting in your eye, so definitely wear glasses of some sort. I'm under a microscope right now, so that's my safety block from getting sick in my eyes. When I'm not using a microscope, I have the magnifier glasses on to keep that from happening. And then if you're not using anything, then you definitely need just the regular safety glasses or sunglasses or something. You don't want these sharp metal flakes going in your eye at all. They could cause some very permanent damage. On top of that, if you're ever polishing, wear respirators, guys. Respirators are very important. Same with respirators when you're sharpening stuff. You have to have either a vacuum or a respirator, some sort of mask, something to filter out fine particulates. I'll check them out for sure tonight then. Thanks, J-Dog. Need a little bit more oil, cutting oil. Taka, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, guys, before you take off, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well. That way when I go on live, you guys are alerted. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. I plan on hopefully sometime in the future starting a course of some sort for a few things, whether it's inlay, whether it's engraving, drawing, scroll. If you guys haven't tuned in recently, I also started painting. I'd like to do some painting with my firearm work. So it'll be kind of cool. So people have something to display at all times with the theme of the engraved work. I don't know, what do you guys think of that? Yeah, no, yeah, definitely J Sharp. It's actually it's cutting a little bit better. I polished it. The cutting oil's helping. I think we are pretty close to ready to start this the teeth. At least, sorry, the flattening of the channel. So one of the things I found out this last week while I was doing this is when you're in the middle, like right here. So pointed out. So right here, since we're creating V cuts on and creating a channel into the wall, it leaves almost like a ditch or a little hill in the middle, you know, right here. So we have to flatten that out. So we use a flat graver, go in, and we just essentially start digging the ditch out. That's funny. We went too deep on that one. That's okay. Luckily, that's just a tooth, so we're good. So it's funny because I know exactly what's happening right now. We're going to fix it. So we're digging in too deep. And the reason being because when we do gravers, they have to have a heel. This one doesn't have a heel. Yep, there it is. Okay. So this needs a heel because if it doesn't have the little heel right here, essentially it controls your level. So we're going to add it right now. It takes like 2 seconds. The little wheel. Okay, there we go. That'll make it easier. George, yeah, it was a little longer. I thought it was going to be faster, but apparently not. So, all right, here we go. There we go. Now we can control our level. Look how much nicer this is coming up now. And that has to do with this heel on the graver. So it doesn't keep digging down, and you can control the level. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Let me make sure my dog's still around here. Just making sure my dog is still around. He hasn't ran off for some reason. I have him gated, but sometimes he figures a way out. And usually he comes in on his own. Loretta, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it, guys. If you haven't, subscribed, please subscribe before you take off. Sometimes this can take a little while and can be kind of boring, but it will look very good by the end of it. Again, this is to prep the channel here for an inlay so we can put brass into it. This method works for firearms, knives, jewelry, any sort of metal art you're doing. You can do inlays into it if you'd like. And it actually works for wood as well. So you can inlay very soft metals into wood using the same method in creating channel locks and chiseling out the wood. And then getting like really fine silver or tin. Tin is super soft. And it will inlay great. cop from the future. It's fine, man. It is not necessary to have a good-looking 1911 or slide, but it if you can either do it or afford to get it done, it's a great little addition. Okay, we're adding the teeth, guys. This, we don't need a whole ton, but we need some. And the reason we need the teeth is because I started off dumb, and I made the channel too thick for the wire size that I have currently. And so I have to use a double wire inlay, which is a lot harder than just using a single wire. So if you guys can make it to where you're only using a single wire, get the single wire. I'm going to set the teeth a little lower. So I'm going a little too deep. Chad, yeah, so a lot of knife makers, like if you can afford to have the gold to do the inlay, gold inlaying is so much nicer because gold is so soft, and it comes up nicer. You don't have to fight with the metal as much. Like you'll see me on here you're gonna see me fight with the brass, 100%. You will see me fight with it, 100%. We are almost ready to start inlaying, guys. We're just going to finish up the last little bit of tea. That is complete. What we've got to do now is we've got to get something to wipe the oils off of this. So let's clean it with some. Using acetone here, guys, to basically try to take out some of the oils. Got in here. Okay. Chad, no, I do a little bit of everything, honestly. If you look at the channel, you'll see that today I had a live with me painting. So I actually paint as well. I just really like art, so I do a little bit of everything. In fact, I just got my hands on a nice plasma cutter. So one of these days, we'll try an experiment on making art with some steel. So guys, I'm looking for Well, thank you for coming through, Chad. Appreciate it. All right, let me grab some of this wire. Get plenty of wire to be able to wrap through. Okay, we're gonna set the first little bit. Yeah, gold is expensive right now. It's stupid expensive. Awesome. Okay. That looks like it's probably locked in. I say probably because I'm never 100% sure. Now this is a stainless steel one. You want to be careful with this one because this one will 100% mar your slide. And then you are stuck either sanding it or doing something. See, I almost came off right there. So Martello, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Okay, we've got to really inset it. So this is having issues right here. Chad, Damascus slides as far as engraving them. So kind of funny. I know that I appreciate you tuning in. I just recently stopped taking custom orders. So I do all my art on my own now. Now, if there's a way to purchase the Damascus slides, I would love to do that. And I'm willing to purchase them, and then, if I work on them, more than happy to market whoever I bought them from, if you're making them. Damascus slides are awesome. So I had a chip there. That's what I was fixing just now. Martello, yes, but what we're doing, the idea is to basically create a channel on the side walls, so that way it's like it basically does this on the side of the wall, so that way when you push it in, it locks in right there, and then you sand the top. The teeth also act as burrs to go and catch the brass or the gold and not let it out. I mean, it's pretty in there, so you know it is definitely in there. But yes, that is the idea, and yes, I am beating the crap out of it right now. Let's see. I just lost my. It just fell out. My bit just fell out of my thing. I don't even know where it went. What the heck? Sorry guys, it fell, and now I'm trying to figure out where it fell to, because that's interesting. The stainless steel bit just fell and fell right into the magnets right under my thing. So what we'll do it in the end is we actually take a flat chisel and then try to clean up the top quite a bit. Floating bus, thank you, thank you. Hello from Idaho out here. Floating bus, yes. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen... Actually, before I used the GRS, I had to use a hammer because my Steve Lindsay just wasn't hitting hard enough. So I would actually use a setting hammer. Usually something like this. And you just hammer it, hammer, hammer, hammer. And you can hammer pretty hard with these. So... we have a little problem right here, little problem child. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a very, very small amount of brass and put it in there and then try to get it to set correctly. So give me a second while I find some tweezers. We're going to have to make this a little bit smaller probably. Yeah, we're going to have to press this. Let's see if I can get this one to actually set in there better. This is going to be annoying. I'm going to tell you that much. Let's see if this will work. Nope, fell out. Let's see. I might have to push it. We have enough material. We're going to push it. So we're going to push the material over instead. One method. Rough. Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea. Luckily I had enough material that I was able to mold it into it, but I might have to do that with the other one. I just did something that, yeah, it's a rookie mistake. I've been told not to do it, but I've been doing it. It's a bad habit. So I usually like flick stuff off. Don't do that. Hey, it'll cut you. It's sharp metal. So that's my first problem right there. Martello, yeah, it's just brass. That's why it's so hard. It's a hard one. Let's see. Okay, set. Martello, no, 24 karat is like the preferred inlay for stuff. 24 karat as well as pure silver, white gold. The purer the white gold, the better. It's just 24 karat gold right now is like $3,200 an ounce, so it is insanely expensive. But all right, we are at about actually over an hour. Okay, that was the goal tonight, was an hour. I appreciate you guys coming in and seeing what we've got going on here. Let me go ahead and show you what the other side looks like right now. This is the other side right here. This is what it should come out to look like. I've got a few little things that I've got to fix on this side. But yeah. Martello, yeah, brass is hard. Yeah, it's been a rough one. But it's just cheaper. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you again. And yeah. Keep creating. Keep engraving, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow night. Peace out, guys.